If you're using Gemini 3.1, master the same way you used older models, lowering temperature, forcing chain of thought, you're actually making your outputs worse. I tested every setting Google gives you on this model, and what I found changes the entire prompting playbook. So, in this video, I'll break down every feature that matters, the prompting strategies that actually work now, and a reliability playbook to kill hallucinations before your users see them. Let me show you. Starting with the two numbers you need to memorize. What Gemini 3.1 Pro actually is, let's get oriented. The model ID you're looking for is Gemini 3.1 Pro Preview. It takes text, images, video, audio, and PDFs as input, but only outputs text. No image generation, no audio generation, no live API. Text out, multimodal in. Now, the two numbers. 1,048,576 input tokens. 65,536 output tokens. That input window is massive. We're talking entire code bases, full legal contracts, hours of transcript, all fitting inside a single prompt. The output ceiling at 65K tokens means you can get back genuinely long-form, detailed responses without hitting a wall halfway through. One thing that catches people off guard: the knowledge cutoff is January 2025. So anything that happened after that, new library releases, breaking news, policy changes, the model doesn't know about it natively. That's where grounding tools come in, and we'll get deep into those in a few minutes. But here's where it gets interesting. The way you control this model's reasoning is fundamentally different from what you're used to. Where you can actually use it. UI versus API versus Vertex AI. Before we go further, you need to understand that Gemini 3.1 Pro shows up in 4 different places, and the feature set is not the same across all of them. First, there's the Gemini Developer API. That's your fast start path. API key, official SDKs, built-in tools like Google Search Grounding, URL context, code execution, structured outputs, caching, and batch processing. This is where most builders will live. Second, Google AI Studio, the browser-based prototyping UI. You can actually try Gemini 3.0 Pro, wherever free or even when the free tier doesn't exist for that model in the API itself. Great for testing prompts before you write a single line of code. Third, Vertex AI, the enterprise lane, IAM, governance, regional controls, monitoring, and critically, the Gen AI evaluation service, which we'll talk about later. If you're in a production environment with compliance requirements, this is your path. And fourth, the consumer Gemini app. This has something called connected apps. Gmail, Calendar, Docs, Drive, Keep, Tasks. Now this feels like plugins, and people get confused here. Connected apps in the consumer Gemini app are not the same as API tools. Different permission model, different capabilities, governed by user settings and admin policies. Don't confuse them. The practical takeaway: validate the feature path you intend to use early. Something listed as supported in AI Studio might behave differently, or have restrictions in the direct API or Vertex AI. File search, for instance, is listed as supported AI Studio only on the model page. But the file search docs show API usage with Gemini 3.1 Pro. Set your incidency as your specific surface before you commit to an architecture. Thinking levels and the temperature trap, this is the section that will save you hours of debugging. Gemini 3 introduces something called thinking level, and it replaces the old prompting hacks you've been using. Instead of writing think step by step or reason through this carefully in your prompts, you now set a thinking level parameter, low, medium, or high. High is the default for 3.1 Pro, and it controls the maximum depth of internal reasoning before the model produces an answer. Use low for simple lookups and formatting tasks where speed matters. Use high for deep code reasoning, multi-step planning, or anything where accuracy is the priority. Now, here's the trap. And this one is genuinely counterintuitive. If you've been building with LLMs for a while, Your instinct is to lower the temperature when you want more deterministic, reliable outputs. With Gemini 3 models, Google explicitly tells you, don't do that. Keep temperature at the default 1.0. Lowering it can cause the model to loop, repeating itself, generating weird degraded outputs, especially on complex reasoning tasks. So what do you do instead when you want consistency? You use the trio, structured outputs with a JSON schema, to force the shape of the response, clear format contracts in your system instruction, and evaluation-driven iteration to verify outputs programmatically. That combination gives you far more reliable determinism than temperature ever did. This is a genuine paradigm shift. The old playbook of temperature equals 0 for production is dead for Gemini 3. If you take nothing else from this video, take that. Tool grounding. How to actually eliminate hallucinations. All right, this is the core of the reliability story, and it's the part most people get wrong. Hallucinations drop dramatically when you stop asking the model to remember things and start asking it to retrieve things. Gemini gives you 3 grounding tools, and each one serves a different purpose. First, grounding with Google Search. When you enable the Google Search tool, the model can generate search queries, pull in real-time web results, and, this is the key part, return structured citation metadata. That means you get grounding metadata containing the actual search queries it ran, the source URLs, and span-level supports that map specific claims in the response back to specific sources. This isn't the model saying it found something. This is a structured, verifiable citation trail. Second, URL context. This is for when you have a specific page or PDF and you want the model to read the whole thing deeply. It's not discovery. It's I want you to ingest this exact document and respond based on its content. Perfect for contract analysis, report summarization, or any task where you're pointing the model at a known source. Third, file search. This is managed RAG built right into the Gemini API. You upload your documents, the system chunks them, embeds them, indexes them, and then retrieves relevant chunks as context when the model needs them. You can configure chunking parameters and even apply metadata filters, like author or document type, to target specific subsets of your knowledge store. Embedding costs hit at indexing time. Storage is free. Query time embeddings are free. And retrieve tokens are charged as regular context tokens. The pattern that works in production looks like this. Use the right grounding tool for your data source. Require the model to produce structured evidence objects, claims with citations and extracted quotes, before it writes any narrative synthesis, and then run a verification step that checks every claim actually has supporting evidence. That verification can be a second model call, a deterministic validator over the grounding metadata, or a JSON schema check. The point is, don't trust narrative text. Trust the structured metadata. Wait until you see what comes next, because knowing how to ground the model is only half the battle. You also need to make sure the outputs are machine readable. Structured outputs. Production-grade JSON. For anyone building agents, pipelines, or any system where another piece of code needs to consume the model's output, structured outputs are non-negotiable. You set response MIME type to application JSON and provide a response JSON schema, and Gemini will force its output to match that schema. No more regex parsing. No more hoping the model formats things correctly. Type safe, valid JSON every time. But there are limitations you need to know. The schema support covers a subset of JSON schema. Unsupported keywords get silently ignored, and very large or deeply nested schemas can be rejected outright. The practical advice: keep your schemas relatively flat. Test them before you deploy. And if you're hitting weird validation errors, simplify the nesting first. When you combine structured outputs with grounding tools, you get something powerful. A model that retrieves real information and delivers it in a machine-readable format with verifiable citations. That's the foundation of a production system, not a demo. Thought signatures: why your agent is broken. If you've been building function calling agents on Gemini 3 and they keep breaking with mysterious 4xx errors after a tool step, this section is for you. Gemini 3 models can return encrypted fields called thought signatures. These are representations of the model's internal reasoning state, and they're designed to preserve reasoning context across multi-step interactions. When the model returns a thought signature, you must pass it back exactly in the next turn. Not approximately, not a summary. The exact encrypted blob. For Gemini 3, function calling specifically, omitting the thought signature can cause validation errors. Hard 4LX failures that kill your agent mid-flow. The official SDKs handle this automatically, which is why Google recommends using them. But if you're building custom client code or integrating through a middleware layer or using a framework that doesn't preserve these fields, this is almost certainly where your agent is breaking. The fix is simple once you know about it. Persist and return thought signatures at every turn. But this is also a gotcha that's not obvious if you're migrating from older Gemini models or other providers where this concept doesn't exist. Evaluation: proving you reduced hallucinations. Here's the truth that most YouTube tutorials skip. You cannot prompt your way to reliability without evaluation. You need measurable proxies for hallucination rate, and you need repeatable workflows to track them. The Google native workflow looks like this. Step 1. Use logs and datasets to capture your real production prompts and responses. Step 2. Replay those prompts using the Batch API, which runs at 50% of standard cost and is explicitly designed for evaluation workloads. Step 3. Score the outputs using Vertex AI's Gen AI evaluation service, which gives you adaptive rubrics, essentially unit tests for model outputs, plus static rubrics and deterministic metrics like rouge or bleu when you have ground truth available. The metrics that matter most for hallucination control are instruction following. Did the model actually comply with your grounding-only rules? Correctness and faithfulness, when reference documents are present, and format validity. Did the JSON schema pass? Did the parser succeed? Track those three, run evals on every prompt change, and you'll have a real, defensible claim about your system's reliability. Quick troubleshooting guide. Before we wrap up, let me hit the most common failure modes I've seen. Rapid fire. Model is looping or giving weird degraded outputs. Check your temperature. If it's below 1.0, set it back to default. That's the fix 90% of the time. Function calling dies with a 4xx error after a tool step. Missing thought signature. Persist it, return it, or switch to the official SDK. Model ignores your custom tools and keeps trying to use bash-style instructions? Try the Gemini 3.1 Pro Preview Custom Tools endpoint. It's specifically tuned to prioritize custom tools in mixed workflows. Model outputs, sources, or citations that look plausible but are fabricated? Never trust inline text citations. Always derive citations from the grounding metadata. That's where the real, verifiable attribution lives. Structured output. JSON is invalid or the schema gets ignored. Simplify your schema. Keep nesting shallow. Unsupported. JSON schema keywords are silently ignored, which can make your output look broken when it's really a schema compatibility issue. So here's your checklist. Keep temperature at default for Gemini 3. Use thinking level to trade speed against reasoning depth. Preserve thought signatures in every agent turn. Force structure with JSON schema. Ground all facts with search, URL context, or file search, and run evals from real logs. Do that, and Gemini 3.1 Pro becomes a production model, not a demo toy. If this was helpful, drop a comment and let me know what you're building with Gemini 3.1 Pro. I'd love to hear how you're using it. And if you want the prompt templates I walked through, I'll link everything in the description. See you in the next one.